Hello there. Or hello again, I should say. There's my head, in case you wanted to see my head. Maybe you didn't. That's what you got. Oh, there. I want my head to be in the center. I want my cap to be visible. No. It's so hard. It's mirrored. Okay, let's do this. That's better. How are you guys doing? Here in Sweden, we thought we were going to get snow. No, we thought we were going to get spring, but we got snow. So I don't know how's weather where you are, but yeah, we want to get some warmer weather here. Swedes are really thirsty for sun at this time of the year. We want our vitamin D. We want to be able to go outside. We don't want to sit inside and socially isolate. So in case you guys are wondering, I'm in the key of E major, and I'm just doing a lot of percussive noises. So if you guys want to join in, I strongly advise you to play the Pentatonic Box here on the 9th fret, because then you and I can jam via the internet, and that is bloody fantastic. So I hope you guys are doing really good. And if you have a question about what the heck I'm doing here, just shoot. Oh, we got ZR. What's up, man? I remember you from before. I used to do these a lot back in the days, but then I got really sick and tired of my own sound, so I needed to take a break. But now I'm back, and I'm seeing some names that I recognize. Or am I wrong, ZR? Have you seen me before, like 1 or 2 years ago? Is this you? So in case you're wondering, I'm just doing this kind of thing. Cool, it was ZR. Awesome. How you doing, man? Have you survived this crazy times we're living in? No COVID in your close to you, I hope. No, none in your family or whatnot. Here's what I'm doing. Just the basic rhythm doing. So hit with all the fingers. And then bass and then fingers. Like that. And then some variations around that. Okay, get that going. You can try squeezing in some notes in the middle there, or in between. Thank you, ZR. It's really about getting some kind of rhythm going so that your, whatever melody and lead you're playing is not isolated from the rhythm. And it's not only good for doing these kind of a cappella videos where I'm playing by myself, but it's also an awesome thing to do if you need to get tighter and more rhythmical in your playing. It doesn't really matter if you want to do lead playing or rhythm guitar, whatever. It really helps to have that kind of beat going, and you're forcing yourself to keep up a steady beat. Sometimes, or a lot of times, I see students that are sort of resting on the metronome beat and just sort of relying on that, and they don't even bother to tap their foot. And I think it might seem like a small thing, but I think it's really good as your hands are so focused on, playing well and being synchronized and, playing whatever you're trying to play. It's really good to also have that foot to help you keep up with the pulse. And you can really tell when a player is really well rooted with the rhythm, and a lot of times he or she will have that foot stomping or tapping. By the way, let me know, is my audio somewhat hearable? Can you guys hear what I say and what I play? I had some issues with audio there. I hope they're resolved, but you never know. Confirming ZR. So ZR, what are you into playing? Is this kind of thing within your framework of what you want to do, or are you into rock, metal? And Schumann is saying nice. Thank you so much, man. Where are you located, mate? I'm in Stockholm, Sweden, by the way. It would be awesome to know where everyone is. Mumbai, awesome, man. We're close. We're very far from each other, but we're close to each other virtually, and that's awesome. Brazil, same to you then. Tabasco, I'm sorry, I have no clue what Amogus is. Exactly, Pedro. I'm in the key of E major. So you can hit that bass note. And you can play your trusty pentatonic box here on the 9th fret. Midas, thank you so much. So you have it here on the 9th fret, right? And you don't have to be as fancy. You can just have like a basic pulse going and play your blues licks. And if you want to squeeze in a bass note in there, you can do. Cool, we have a good question there, I guess, from Anne Schumann. How do you get out of that pentatonic box? And that's something I know a lot of us are struggling with, simply because it's so damn good, that pentatonic box, right? We can do whatever we want in that. So we tend to stay in there, right? Because why go elsewhere when it sounds so good? And then what happens is you get increasingly comfortable in the box and you get increasingly uncomfortable outside of the box. And that just reinforces the state you're in. And at the end, it gets impossible to get out of that pentatonic box. So, of course, the solution might appear simple. Just stop playing that pentatonic box, right? But if you do that, then you're going to feel really bad about your progress and you're going to feel bad about your playing ability. So you're going to gravitate back towards the box again. So you got to mix in a little bit of psychology when trying to go outside of the box. First of all, you got to realize that it sounds crap for everybody that tries to play outside of the comfort zone. That's the actual definition of a comfort zone, right? So it's not supposed to sound good. It's not supposed to necessarily feel good because you're outside of your comfort zone. I think that's the key thing. Now, what other people do is they tend to just look at simple kind of box shape. They find some kind of scale diagram and then they try to play that box. And it doesn't make sense to them. They don't know any licks in that box. They're just alienated by it. It just doesn't feel like home at all. So what you got to do is weave in that adjacent box that is right next to the box you're comfortable with. Weave it in gradually. So I'm going to give you an example of that. Here's what we already do know how to play. Our first pentatonic box played on the 9th fret. That's what we're comfortable with. Here's the second one, and this one we're not comfortable with. So instead of playing it just like that, we're going to slide into it. Right? So there we just explored one single note from that adjacent box. But the big advantage is that we didn't have to learn anything new but one note. And I'm sure most of you guys can agree that that's much easier than to learn a whole scale box, right? So we should take it easy, and it's okay to stay on this kind of thing for like one day or whatever your practice session is. You don't have to learn anything more than that one note. Right? That thing. But then, when you're comfortable with that note, we can slide into yet another note. So we get... What happens is that we're kind of not only teaching our mind where the note is, but we're also teaching our muscle memory how to work our way into that box. So this way, it'll come more naturally as you do your normal jamming. So I would recommend, if you want to try this, let's switch to the E minor box. That's the most common one. Let's slide from the 14th fret G string up to the 16th fret. And then let's play that note on the 15th fret, which actually also belongs to the box you're comfortable with. So, right? So try jamming around with your pentatonic box. And try to weave in that one. And when you're comfortable with that, you can do the same for 15 on the B string up to the 17th fret. And then 15th fret E string here. I'm not going to show you all the details, but that's sort of the the essence of it, the approach that I would recommend whenever you want to expand on your theory knowledge. Gotta go, man. I'm a doctor in this crazy times. Oof, I feel for you, man. You have our support. Because of your channel, after 5 years without playing, I came back to my guitar. Keep it up. Awesome, man. Something that helped me was learning the pentatonic shapes through the whole neck and try to find interesting melodic lines to connect the shapes. Exactly. And that's pretty much what I'm doing here, right? Because in the prolongation, what you can do is connect several boxes with each other, right? And at the end, you're going to get this huge kind of pattern that you can play all over the guitar. Dio, good afternoon from Germany. What's up, Dio? How's the COVID situation in Germany? It's not so good here in Stockholm, Sweden. Not so good as well. Sorry to hear that, man. Have you been vaccinated yet, or is it coming along? My parents, or my mother has gotten vaccinated, and my wife's parents as well. So at least it's moving forward here. You guys are wondering, I'm still in the key of E major here, so that means you can play your pentatonic box here on the 9th fret. The vaccine situation is a mess. It was poorly executed. Sorry to hear that. I guess that's still in German standard, right? So it's probably pretty good compared to the rest of the world. Just kidding. But yeah. So I'm playing the E major scale here. Isn't that right, Dio? That's what you're famous for. We Swedes, we try to be the same, but we can't really be as efficient. Just so what I'm doing here with the playing is I'm really keeping a steady pulse here, right? And then I'm just playing some licks. and then maybe add a bass note here and there. So try to get like a whole band setting going with a little bit of drums, a little bit of bass, and a little bit of melody going on, and maybe even a little bit of lead guitar. So basically 4 different things, I guess you could say. The melody would be more of a... Whereas this... would be more of a lead thing. This is an RG652AHM, so it's a Nebula Green, and it's their can't remember what their Japanese line is called. Prestige. Cool, Dio. So you watched my Guitar Tab website. You were 16 at the time. Yeah, I know. Time flies like crazy. Was that the GMC website, which I currently run? I also had a site called freelix.net, and that was really back in the days, like 20 years ago. That's like back to when the dinosaurs lived in internet time. Yeah, it's actually... Yeah, it's a bit of ash. I think you're right. But also some basswood in the body here, if I'm not mistaken. No, this is not the Marcio Air Norton Tone Zone. I actually put some bare knuckle Stormy Monday. So it's their like lowest output humbuckers, and I love them. I really like low output stuff. Not well for this stuff it's perfect, but even for like high gain leads, their pickups work pretty nicely, even though they're low output. So I'd rather keep the dynamics than squash everything. Wasn't even live. Yeah, I know, it's crazy. Feel old now. Priya, what's up? Thanks, Rash, for digging my guitar. I try to play while speaking. It's hard, being an athlete, but you can try. Sorry, man. This is... I can't do that. No, I should do E minor maybe and... some good stuff from Felicia, but I've never really sat down and learned it. I guess it's been like, I don't know, 15, 20 years since I sat down and learned someone else's material. There's one exception though. I'm trying to play like a hot country solo, and that's by one of the fellow instructors on the GMC website. So that's an exception, but I haven't learned like a famous song or solo or whatever in ages. I don't know if you're complimenting me, then thank you. But I think you're speaking about Polyphia, and I'm ready to agree. I think I don't know what his name is, like kind of small guy, but he plays really well. Cool. That's a really nice comparison. Yeah, I'm really trying to change my chops. Those of you who were around a few years ago when I did these, you know that I did a lot of just lead improvising and jamming, but none of that percussive thing going. And nowadays, I'm really sick and tired of playing with lots of distortion and trying to find all these backing tracks. I just want to be able to play. So I finally realized I need to start doing that. I need to start doing that by myself. Cool, Dio watched my Zach Wild lesson. That was a long time ago on my private personal channel. Awesome to hear, man. Those are some cool memories. You look like mosquito. I crush you. I don't remember what I used to say. Today I saw mosquito. Then I crushed him. No, it's like this. Today I saw mosquito. It looked like you. Then I crushed the mosquito. I don't know. Cool. Serkan is asking about tips to share. Or no, tips to shred. That's even worse. So I think one of the main things with shredding is realizing that it's all about controlling tension and being precise. The rest is just practice time. Some people think it's about pushing speed and sort of playing in a forceful way, but it's actually the opposite. If you try to push speed and if you tense up and try to use your muscles, you're never really going to get up to those high speeds. So it's all about progressing while keeping relaxed. If I were into that stuff now, I'd probably show you some picking, but I haven't practiced that for a while. Brazil, what's up? Yeah, I got a bunch of other guitars, but right now I've tweaked my sound to this guitar. So I'd rather keep playing it, but I can't share this. Here's one guitar that I play a lot these days because I'm trying to learn a country lesson from GMC. So yeah, and this is the Fujigen, so it's actually also a Japanese guitar. And it seems that Japanese people really know how to build guitars. I love them. So Serkan, was that helpful in any way of what I said about shredding? Or do you need more specifics, like how do I sweep, how do I do this and that? Oh, well, how long are you playing? So I've been playing with more than 20 years, and I've gone through a lot of different styles. So this is what I'm attempting to do now. It's not really my main style, but it's pretty much the only thing I can stand playing. I just, a year ago, just totally couldn't stand my own sound, so I just stopped playing. But now it seems I found my way back by doing these clean and percussive stuff. I don't count my guitars, and I guess that says a lot. Most of them are not high-end, though, but I probably have like a whole bunch of them here. I would say around 10 guitars, depends if you count all the broken ones, maybe 15. I just don't throw them away, or I should repair some of them. Some of them, you know, they're really cheap stuff, like you know, this kind of guitar. I bought them a long time ago. I have like a sentimental value, and I can't throw it away, but it doesn't really work that well anymore. I guess it does work, so I wouldn't throw it away, but I don't know what I'm trying to say. It's just that it depends on how you count those guitars. I'm actually exploring a software that's called like OBS Ninja, and that's going to allow me to use my phone and walk around and show you the guitar. So hopefully I'll be back, when I'll be back in 1 or 2 weeks, I'll be able to more closely show you my guitars. So Audi, yeah, those are Bare Knuckle Stormy Monday. Really nice low output pickup. saying, good morning. I need to put a lot of strength in my fingers to make some pull-off sound decent. If I use the minimum of strength, the sound disappears fast. Better to buy a new guitar or amp. That's an interesting one. So one thing I've seen, I don't really know what level you're at, but I'm just gonna say it anyway. When you do a pull-off, some people just lift their finger, right? So like this, like that, where it's actually a downward movement. So if I exaggerate, it's like down like that. Now, if you don't do that movement correctly, you're not gonna get much sound pulling off if you just lift the finger like that. So I guess that would be the first thing I'd advise you to check out. And then it helps if you have maybe some extra distortion, but it's not necessary. You know, I don't have much distortion now, right? You can do it still. So that would be like the first thing I'd try. Stormy Monday, Duncan 59. Yeah, it could be. It's like a PAF kind of thing, but they have their own kind of way of obviously of making their pickup, so I'd say it's still a bit different probably. What do you think is most important to learn music theory? Cool question. My brother has an acoustic and I can play tabs on it. Cool. Yeah, exactly. Tweaks. That's what I was looking for. Thank you. Humbuckers are better for pull-offs than single coils. Yeah, if we're speaking in... I just gotta eat some sugar here. Sorry. Keep my brain levels up. On a general note, you could say humbuckers are better because they are higher output, so it's a bit the same as if you turn the gain up a little bit. But it's not really fair to say that you should get humbuckers to play pull-offs better, because you can do them with lots of single coil guitars as well. So for example, here's like the split coil position here. Right, you can hear it sounds kind of split coil. But the pull-offs are still there if you want to be there. Okay, so what do you think is most important to learn of music theory? About music theory, I'd say start small and don't feel any pressure to expand on it unless you really want to. You can go so far with just the pentatonic scale, and I'd say with a few chords in the pentatonic scale, it's perfectly possible to write amazing music. That's not to say that it won't help you to learn more theory. For many people, it is helpful, but a lot of people also do it in the wrong order. So before learning many songs and stuff like that, they attempt to learn lots of music theory, and I would advise against that. It's better to get this arsenal of just ideas, chops and licks and riffs, whatever, before you start analyzing what's happening. But for some people, it can be an entrance point. If they are already, like, if you're a coder or something like that, and you have a sense of theory already, then that can be an entrance point. But for most people, the best entrance point is really to do. I'd say that's a better entrance point. So thanks for digging my guitar, by mix tips. Those are some bad mix tips right there, because Ibanez is not only great for metal, it's good for a lot of stuff, depending a little bit on what Ibanez you're playing, obviously. But maybe I misunderstood you. So that's a cool question there. Some tips on songwriting. I'd say that it depends a lot. I mean, if you ask the really great songwriters what's their strategy, they don't really have a strategy, because if they had a strategy, all their songs would sound the same, right? But I can tell you how I work. I'm really bad at thinking in terms of rhythm, even arrangement and harmony. So my strength is melody. I love melodies. So I usually start by coming up with some kind of melody. And sometimes the melody will be in a riff. So, this is a riff, right? But it's also melody. It's depending on how you want to look at it. Same. It's a melody. So I think of melodies, and then I could, try them. Do they work as a riff, or should I keep them as melodies? And if I have a riff, can I maybe start humming a melody that's going to work on top of the riff? So I'm really melody oriented, but that's not how everybody's going to work. Will it jazz? That's a cool one. And Schumann, okay, I've been trying to start by finding a chord progression, but it starts to get too repetitive after a while, and it sounds like a backing track instead of a song. Of course, another one is you really got to write, if not hundreds of songs, before you really write a good one. So it's just to keep at it would be my advice. Just keep going for it. I like to mess around the groove, and sometimes I mess the groove up. Then it's not intentional. Tori, what's up? But also, Schumann, it's also a matter of analyzing other people's songs. You got to do a bit of everything. You got to try doing things differently each time. Maybe start with a beat once, and then start with a chord progression once. Steal a chord progression and mess it up. You can try lots of different things, and not one of them is going to be the solution. I think the mix of all of that is going to be the solution. And just keep at it, keep going. Nowadays, the computer, I think, also is going to be your best friend, because there are so many tools to get inspiration. Especially if you want to start with a beat, then you can get a whole library of cool beats and with samples and all that stuff. So, yeah. Yeah, exactly. Trash, I would say some people write by messing around with the guitar. That doesn't work for me. If I mess around on the guitar, it's often going to be my fingers that dictate where to go. So a lot of times when I want to write stuff, it might be better to actually go out for a walk, or just, not play and just think instead. At least that's good as a starting point. And then when I have something to work with, then I can start messing around a little bit. I just wanted to differentiate. Perhaps that's what you were saying. But of course, we're all completely different. And I know for a fact, like people like James Hetfield, who's obviously a great songwriter, I think I've heard him say that it's a lot of times just noodling around and to get the idea, and then maybe do more thinking when you want to add layers on top of that. So it's all different. Exactly, Konzi. This is an Ibanez. It's an RG652AH. Yeah. That's a cool thing, Trash. Rewatch the stream and borrow ideas. You should definitely do that. That's a good idea. What pedals am I using? So I go from the guitar into an MXR 10-band EQ, then into an overdrive pedal. It's the full-tone OCD. And then finally into the Strymon Big Sky. That's it. That's everything. There's no amp, no nothing else. But the Big Sky has a cabinet simulator. In fact, I'm going to turn that off so you can hear how it sounds without the cabinet simulator. Okay, without the cabinet simulator. Okay, now with it. Yeah, a bit like that, Trash, but there's no real processor here. It's just a cabinet simulator, I guess, a bit of a processing, but otherwise it's pretty much analog, even though the Big Sky reverb actually does obviously have some digital technology in it, but it's still keeping the analog signal there. So I'm not doing any conversion until I hit the computer. Exactly, Trash. No problem, Nicholas. Play some heavy metal stuff. Oh, sorry, I messed up. I can change into something more. So no distortion there, but at least it's a bit of I can do some Phrygian dominant. That's even worse. Maybe some if I can do some doesn't sound like heavy metal, does it? But at least it's a Phrygian dominant scale, which sounds metal in itself. Yeah, I should turn on the metal sound, but I don't have that connected right now. It would require me at least a couple of 20 minutes fiddling around to get a good metal sound, so I give up. Can't do that. Don't get me wrong, I do play a lot of metal, and I've written a lot of metal songs, and I do screaming and all that, but not the last year or so. It's more a mood thing for me. If you want to check out my material and stuff like that, you can go to Christopher Dahl on YouTube. That's my personal channel. into noise mode there without even noticing it. Yeah, this kind of playing sure has some acoustic vibes to it. It's just that things are so much easier on an electric guitar. Well, I find it easier than an acoustic guitar. You get a lot of help from the tools at your disposal. Okay, so I think we're reaching the end of the stream now, but if you guys have like a final question you want to shoot out, feel free to shoot me. Trash. I know it's bad, but it's already my second session today. I did one first at Instagram, so you should check out more of our stuff, of course, both here on YouTube and on the GMC website. And you can find lots of stuff from me on my personal channels as well. And then, of course, I'm gonna come back here, so we're never too far away. Randy Road. I'm going after. No, wrong. Auf Wiedersehen, Dio. It's been awesome to have you here. Fingers crossed for that German vaccination progress. And yeah. By the way, if any of you guys are at GMC, we are doing a collab right now where we're writing a song together. Whoa, song together. So that collab is called All About the Song, and it's right there on the GMC forum. So check it out if you guys want to. I'm actually doing some singing there. And of course I'll be playing, but we have a lot of cool guitar stuff coming from students and instructors as well. So it's going pretty well. Fingers crossed. Let's see how it works out. So I'm just gonna fade this out. I don't know if I can fade out, but I'm just gonna play a little bit and then I'm gonna turn it off, and I'm just gonna thank you guys for all the cool feedback here, which is really what keeps these streams interesting, because you guys choose to communicate with me, and I try to communicate back. Suck it, Matthias Osato. I suck at that. I'm just gonna do my thing, and I don't think it's gonna sound like him, but who knows? Does these, I don't know. Thank you, Semi. Thank you for today, and see you soon again. Have a good one. Cheers.